if I'm right, the reason that you're here today is because you're looking to learn how to take things from going on a date to maybe being a little bit more intimate. You mentioned earlier that you were previously married and you put on dating profiles you were in an open relationship and that made it that much easier for you to meet people, but now you don't have that on your dating profile and it stopped. Every person on the planet will tell you going out with a wedding ring will always make people more attracted to you. And it's simply because they don't have to worry about whether you're attractive. It's obvious you are, you're taken.
Yeah.
So we now know you're attractive, it's just a question of whether they want you or not. And it changes the way someone thinks about you. As opposed to, is this person attractive? It's, well, they're obviously attractive. Do I like them? And that question is a better question for them to ask. Do I like you is one step closer to liking you. And you only have to get past the fact that they like you. It's not about whether you're attractive. So the real thing that we have to do is actually just bring back your pre-selection. We just have to get you back into a state where you're in an open relationship. This creates what I like to call the relationship catch-22. To get somebody, you've got to be in a relationship, but if you're not in a relationship, how do you get somebody? And you get this entire cycle. So there are a number of different ways to rapidly get into a relationship. I'm going to teach you what I call my 7-day partner method. The idea is it's how to get a relationship in 7 days or less, very easily. And this would work for absolutely anybody in the world. What you're going to do is you're going to start only eating at areas that have communal eating. So no more eating at home, no more eating in restaurants where it's just you at a table. You are going to find every restaurant where you eat in communal eating, and you're specifically going to go at periods of time that fit with the work day. So you're going to go at lunch during work days. You're going to go straight after work in those kind of areas at these times of day. Maybe breakfast places early in the morning or coffee shops where there's like bars. And you're only going to go to areas where it is completely socially acceptable to sit with a stranger. And then you're going to grab your food and you're going to go and sit next to somebody who is vaguely attractive to you. They don't have to be your perfect person. That's irrelevant for this exercise. You're just somebody who you're kind of attracted to or think you might like. And you're going to sit with them, and before you sit, you're going to say, excuse me, is this seat taken? And they're going to say no. And then you go, great. Hey, before I sit here, I just want to let you know something. I'm giving myself a 7-day challenge. I've realized that most of us sit here at places like this and never talk to each other. And I've decided that I'm only going to sit next to people if I'm going to have conversations. And what I don't want to do is impose a conversation on you if you're not interested. But if you'd be open to having a conversation, I would love to find out the 3 places you wish you could visit in the world and why. No pressure beyond that, and if at any point you feel awkward in the conversation, you can just say, hey, I need to get back to my meal, and I promise you I'll get up and leave. So with that being said, would you like to tell me the 3 favorite places that you'd like to live and why? What this does is it creates a very unique conversation. It gives them the power to tell you to piss off and not have to sit there. It gives them the power to at any point end the conversation. This removes 2 of people's biggest fears about conversations with a stranger. 1 is that they are forced into it, or 2, that if they want to end it at any point that they can't. We remove those. You've empowered them with that, and now you've also told them what the conversation is going to be. It's not like, what is the conversation, how scary is it going to be? It's not about work, it's not about any of the things they would talk about. It's about their dreams and aspirations, things they might want to talk about. And I suspect that if you do that to a few people, you'll end up, honestly, it's almost always the first person, but at least by 2 people, you'll end up in a conversation with somebody. And the goal isn't to date them, it's just to have a conversation over a meal. And if you do this for 7 days straight, at some point during the 7 days, you're going to have a wonderful conversation. 3 meals a day, 7 days, that's 21 meals or 21 micro dates. Not real dates, just micro dates. At the end of any good conversation, you just say this phrase, I really enjoyed that conversation, thank you so much. And they'll say thank you. And say, would you like to do it again? I mean, we're kind of eating at the same spot during lunchtime. Would you say same time tomorrow or same time next week? And you say, no pressure, but if you'd like to, I'd like to. And you'll find somebody within 7 days that you'll connect with, and they'll say, yeah, I would like that. And now this is a person that you sit down and have a meal with and that you talk to. Now what's great about this is, that's not necessarily someone you're going to date. I'll tell you from experience, it probably will be. But let's not guarantee it, but it probably is guaranteed. Because if you've had a great conversation with somebody over a meal and you've gotten well and you want to meet again, it's probably going to turn into a relationship. But even if it doesn't, and it turns into a friendship, you get to say one of my favorite phrases, which is, hey, you know what, I'm single, I'm looking for somebody. Do you know anybody that might want to go on a date? And once again, we can now utilize that friend as a network and a way to meet other people? Or would you like to go to a bar and help me meet people? I'll totally buy you drinks all night if you could, help me talk to people. And you, once again, utilize the friendship to meet other people in a very normal, natural, human way. In doing this, you are going to rapidly meet a lot of people, have some great conversations, and you'll find it easy to get into that first part of the relationship. But again, the key here is, how do we know this is someone we want to marry? How do we know this is someone we're going to settle down with? We don't, and we probably don't. This is a random person that we met at a food restaurant. There's no guarantee that this is going to be the perfect relationship. So with that being said, once we start hanging out on a regular basis and you start hanging out with them, you're going to say to them, you start defining the relationship. So I would normally, on the second or third time, say to somebody, what do you look for in a partner? What do you look for? And have the conversation genuinely and openly. And then when they say, how about you? You say, well, right now, one of the things I'm looking for is trying to find my real self. I don't know who I am in a relationship. I've only really dated once, and it was for 15 years. So outside of that, I'm still trying to learn who I am and what I want. So I think one of the big things for me is I'm not going to get committed. What I don't want to do is date someone for 18 months. I'm 47 years old. That brings me very close to 50. And if I have 2 18-month relationships, that's only 2 people in the next 3 years. Say, I really want to just spend some time getting to know some people. And, I'm not against having casual encounters with somebody that leads sexual. I'm also not against just being on Friends and going on non-sexual dates just to work out who I am and what I want. But what I really want to do is get a wealth of experience of meeting people, find myself, find what I'm looking for, and find someone that gets that. So now you've just opened up a whole world of potential to an open relationship. And the other person, if your ideas match, if that's what you're after, this becomes a very natural dating situation where they're like, oh, I totally love the idea of that, of doing something non-exclusive. And you're like, great, here we are. We've got a good connection now. You go out on a date, next thing you know, you're in an open relationship. And you're back where you want to be, and you can do the online dating websites and all this stuff, or you can realize that there's no point, and you can just do my 7-day method and do that over and over again and meet lots of people.
Sounds great.
Yeah, thanks. So does that make sense? Any points of clarity, or is that all?
Well, what I like about it is that it feels like something I can do already, that I'm already in the process of. And so, yeah, I'm gonna give that a try.
Perfect. Love it, man. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.